Hello everyone. As always, I start the video with a smile, but honestly, when I was doing these nails, I didn't feel like smiling at all. Today I'm sharing a confession from my time as a manicurist, doing what was likely the hardest job of my life. Let's refer to the original. Well, what can I say here? Problemula. I kept these exact shots, shaky and unclear, and a bit later I'll explain why I showed them. For now, let's take a look at the condition of the skin, cuticles, nails. Well, the overall condition is not great here. Overall, the starting point isn't very good and I have a lot of work ahead of me. I spent 5 hours and 15 minutes on this manicure over 2 sessions, including a break, and I was thrilled about it. I started by removing the length. I filed it down with a drill. This time I used a ceramic bit with a blue stripe. Layer by layer, it was quite a thick layer. And you might think that these nails were done by a technician whose hands don't grow from the right place, but knowing who these nails were done for, you can guess that the problem isn't with the technician. Because the work I'm going to do today, well, actually the work I did a few days ago, I'm not happy with it at all. I mean, it's just an embarrassing shame and honestly a total nightmare, but you know what's funny? The funny thing is, there were some circumstances beyond my control. By the way, I've already filmed everything here, so let's just cry together. Because honestly, I just have one word: help. I mean, how am I even supposed to deal with this? Now we're going to have a pedicure on my hands, because honestly, this is probably even worse than any heels. As you can see, everything here is picked at, cracked, torn, and the person walks around without gloves. And just in general. You might think I picked up a homeless person off the street. God forgive me, but I didn't. Actually, she's a young woman, and she's definitely not even close to being homeless. Those who watched my live stream know what I'm talking about. But here, we won't call things by their real names. But the problem is, I did her elbows for free. Yes, I decided that these elbows should cost 0 rubles. And not because I did a bad job, I did them well, considering everything what was waiting for me there and everything that happened to me. It's just that 2 months ago she was our client. She was scheduled for a full treatment, meaning both manicure and pedicure, and it takes her a very long time. They were doing all that for about 5 hours, and in the end they didn't finish her, so I had to finish her myself. I told her not to worry or get upset. I'll do everything for her next time when her nails grow out. And I promised her that I would do it for free. So I decided to cover up what I thought at the time were the salon's mistakes, but they weren't the salon's mistakes. And I really scolded the girls back then. I wondered how this happened and what a mess it was, but I hadn't seen the original or understood it that day. And now is really the right time to apologize to them, that I didn't understand all the circumstances and the full scale of the problem, so to speak. I'm not sure it makes sense to comment on what I'm doing. I have green and blue cutters here. I cleaned it up as best I could. The manicure was done with a machine, if you can call it that. Well, I mean, we polished something here. I just tried to even it all out as much as possible, so this is what we ended up with. For anyone who's interested in what I'm spraying, it's an antiseptic most of the time. That's what it is. The nails are ready. He requested transparent, extended nails. Wow, there's a lot of nerves here too. So what was the issue? She came into the office with a bottle of yellow-colored drink. Foamy. Well, you get it, right? I just don't know if I can say things like that here on the internet. So if you know, you know. Saying I haven't slept for a day, so can I. Well, I kind of realized that I'm the one covering up the mistakes. And I kind of need to tell her that it's okay. And also that time when she was at the salon, when the girls got in trouble. It all started when the administrator ran up to me and said, "Elena, we have a client doing forbidden things like this." Right in the complex area. And it wasn't an e-cigarette. I mean, it was the most classic kind of bad habit. I asked her, "What do you mean? Who let her do that?" She even posted all of it on her stories. We were just honestly shocked, but you just can't go against her. She clearly ignores our rules regardless of what's allowed. Well, she's always late. She constantly goes outside for air, you know, to take care of her own stuff. And honestly, she's just in that kind of state. I wanted to say it my way, but I can't hear. You get what I mean, right? Whoever's watching understands. I'm not actually complaining. What is there to complain about? I did half her manicure, just the nail extensions before filing. I can't even stay in frame. Well, actually, not me, but her, because she kept moving all the time. She's kind of an unstable girl, you know. And then she remembered that she also had a pedicure appointment, so she ran off for her pedicure. I waited, even though I was actually happy about it. Honestly, I thought I could take a breather, relax, and then return to filing with renewed energy. Because clear nails on the lower form, on 2 lower forms. Yeah, did anyone notice I glued 2 pieces since she didn't have enough length? Well, it's kind of like an almond shape, but I'm not really proud of this work. I did what I could, sorry. I don't know how it will turn out for others. Given my circumstances, maybe I could have done a little better. So basically, considering all these circumstances, I did everything I could. And here, I know, many people say you shouldn't take on clients like that and should refuse them, and I agree. So that's exactly what I did, but I finished the service, I provided it in full as much as was possible. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't take any money from her for this. Not because I don't like my job, but because last time I promised her that I would, well, you know, I feel really guilty. The salon is at fault and we owe you an apology. I'll do your nails, though nicely is still debatable. So I thought, since I promised, I have to do it. I mean, keep my word. But when we finished the procedure, she asked me which of the technicians I would recommend she book with. Well, at my salon, I said no one. Just calmly and politely. I explained to her that a client who is late, who constantly steps out to smoke, which is harmful to health. I guess I should mention it here, who can't sit still and quietly, who... Well, basically, it was hard for me to understand her. So I explained to her that we don't provide those kinds of services because according to the regulations, it's an hour and a half, 2.5 hours, depending on the type of service. None of the specialists at my salon can do that. Honestly, I did it myself, but it took over 5 hours. What can I say about specialists who really don't need to do this? And no matter how much money it costs, it just takes a huge amount of energy. Honestly, I was literally shaking. I was just sitting at home, completely stunned after that, thinking, what was that? What just happened to me? But you know what? It's also an incredible experience. Why am I sharing this? That's a fair question. Aliona, why are you showing us this? I just can't help but brag about my angelic composure and patience. I really do have a lot of patience. I know how to distance myself from it. Although, to be honest, like during the manicure, she was mocking me. Because I suspect that she was not only in one altered state of consciousness, but also in some additional ones. That's why she found it very funny at times, laughing at me for filing nails, for being there. I was just trying to find something to talk to her about and kept thinking of topics. That's how I was. I said, you know, for example, I recently set a Russian record. I said I was filing nails for a whole day. She would laugh at me sometimes and ask, so do you actually enjoy it? Don't you fall asleep doing nails? I would fall asleep. It's just so boring to me. I can't do that at all. You know, I realized something, that I truly feel sorry for her and understand her. Well, apparently it's hard for her. This person is probably feeling so bad inside that she lets it all out, so there's probably no point in getting angry at her or reacting in any other way. Feeling a bit gloomy. My video today is, what can you do with people like that? There's nothing you can do. I just decided to do everything I promised and let them go with God, you know, somewhere else. I advised her that she needs to find a private specialist who can afford to spend a whole working day on her. Pay this specialist maybe 15,000 for a manicure so their whole day is covered. And just let her do whatever she wants. I mean, is this really a solution for her? I didn't insult or offend her in any way, nor did I intend to. Well, basically, we're just in different, how should I say, different realities, even in different tones. We're just not in the same world with this person, so there's really no point in judging it. I understand her. I feel a little sorry for her. I really do sympathize with her because it must be really hard to live like that. People can be very different. What was I trying to say with this video? I was filing my nails well, but I always mess up the design anyway. What was I saying in this video? People can be very different, and getting angry at them or wasting your energy on them, like thinking, oh, she's like this, she's like that, really doesn't make any sense. You need to remember one thing. You'll finish your work and she'll leave and she'll be the one left with it, you know? So she'll keep living with it, while for you, it will simply be over. And you simply need to understand people like that. She may be struggling and likely feels bad. We're not psychologists, and listening isn't our only role. But she didn't even try to do that with me. I mean, she's just in some kind of state where it's really tough for her. And honestly, I feel it, especially right now. Warm greetings. I hope my growling stomach wasn't heard. I also hope that someday it will get easier for her. That's all I can say. I truly wish each of you strength and patience, because you get clients like that. They're not bad or good. It's just up to us to make that choice, but not to just tell that client to get lost. Yes, like getting up in the middle of the procedure and telling her to just go home, for example. But no, finish the procedure, gain that experience, draw your own conclusions, and politely and respectfully refuse her next time. Honestly, you can refuse her. So you've finished everything, done everything that was required of you, and after that you can simply tell her no. But still, there's something nasty in me anyway, so actually there was some revenge. Honestly, I can say that at the end, I'll show footage of how I did it very gracefully, subtly, and in a veiled way. Well, in my opinion, I got a little revenge on her, since she used not only classic methods of smoking, which are very harmful to health. I don't recommend smoking to anyone. She also used electronic types of this harmful habit, which produce a lot of smoke, those big clouds of smoke. They look quite pretty, and since we also have something like a bloody haze on our nails, I don't know what it's actually called. I showed the reference she gave me, the design that ruined the architecture of my already terrible nails. So I told her that we need to shoot this beautifully so that there would be those clouds of smoke and everything would look just like that. Mysterious in slow motion as these shots appear. But the only thing I told her was that we need a lot of takes, a whole lot of takes, until she just started coughing. So I'm not really a very good person, and it was a bit of payback, you know, like when parents catch their kids with that bad habit and make them smoke a whole pack at once. Yeah, so I made her do it too. I blurred everything out here, just like you're supposed to. So anyway, these are the nails we ended up with. I don't know, share your thoughts, let's discuss it. How would you handle clients like this?